Austin.
And I'm Allie, and we're two losers that live in our mom's basement. Today we are talking about the Wendigo.
Wendigo.
Oh, Wendigo, yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't know why. So, no, it's Wendigo, you're right. But I remember, so one time I had a little bit of a situation, and I don't know why, but I said, it's the Wendigo, like throwing a straight up N in there, like Wending, like a dog or something. Anyway. Wendigo. And so I don't know why, but it like stuck in my brain like that. So I always called it the Wendigo. And yeah, it's the Wendigo. So Wendigo. But anyway, yeah.
I have like the little, the more you know,
the more
kind of thing.
Right. Okay. So yeah. Did anything before we get started? Did anything recently happen in pop culture that people need to know about?
Not much. This week's been pretty silent that I know of.
Yeah. Well, you're the only one who. I mean, I personally don't pay attention to most of it. So yeah, you.
Let me just go to my entry and see if anything happened today.
Oh, okay. I know everything's expensive. Gas is going up, and wood is outrageous.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wood. You go to Lowe's, and it's like, geez, do you need my firstborn or my arm? Can you do half an arm? Take it at the elbow. But yeah, no, stuff's expensive. I mean, that's like the only thing I've noticed that's weird.
Yeah.
But
I mean.
Oh, Britney Spears. So you remember that guy that was like, "Free Britney, leave Britney alone." You know?
Oh yeah, that guy.
He's taking that video, and he's selling that video, so somebody can own that video. Which I don't know. It sounds like people are buying this. Like I guess he sold it for like 40,000.
That video came out
or something.
Like right in the beginning of YouTube.
Really?
Like
I didn't know that.
Like when YouTube opened, 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Like it came out around that.
2005?
I think so.
Because Britney had her meltdown in 2007.
It must have been in 2007, just when YouTube opened. I don't know though.
I don't even know when YouTube opened.
But other than that, I mean, not much. I mean, the only thing I do know is CDC. They stopped
the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Yeah. Which is
now, did it kill anybody, or was it just doing like blood clots, or did the blood clots then in turn kill somebody?
I don't know. I mean, it's just but you got to look at other Johnson & Johnson products. Just because it's just like, you actually look at cable TV, and it'd just be like, Johnson & Johnson product, it's giving you cancer. And it's just like,
baby powder.
Everything that's coming out with Johnson & Johnson gives you cancer.
Right. It's their specialty, folks. Don't sue us. Yeah, don't come for us. That's a joke. Don't come for us, Johnson & Johnson. It says woman in Virginia may have died. Okay, so it's all I'm seeing on here is
woman died.
Yeah, she did die, but it may have been
COVID related
with that vaccine. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, scary stuff. Can't do anything nowadays without.
We're gonna talk about some more scary stuff.
Yes, in the light of scary things. Okay, so the Wendigo. It's also known as a skinwalker, and bear with me, I'm not good at pronouncing things. Chino, Kiwak, and in the Navajo, it's a Yinaladushi. Yeah, something like that. Which means it walks on four legs, basically.
If you're from a Navajo tribe,
let us
help
know,
us out.
Because we are super white. We don't know anything. Anyway.
Oh, no.
What?
Hold on just 1 minute.
Okay.
You're good. I'm just going to turn this off.
What is it?
Or shut it.
Oh, it's the air.
Because I heard it in my microphone.
Oh, I was like, what is that? Sorry, we've got an air vent right above us, and apparently it just kicked on, and so.
Mashashashun.
What's that mean?
I was trying to pronounce what the Navajo tribe calls it.
Okay, perfect. Well, yeah, if you are in the Navajo tribe or just things, let us know because we don't. Okay, so what it looks like, it is a terrifying creature. So if you Google Wendigo, it is absolutely terrifying. Some of the things that pulls up,
Oh God.
it's just what nightmares are made out of. So all of the legends say it's about 10 to 15 feet tall, so substantially bigger than a human. It does have a human body type, but it looks like it's wasting away like a ratting zombie, or like a corpse ratting zombie, like alive but like not.
Yeah.
A lot of them say that it's terrifying. And legend says that whenever you're getting ready to get ate up by the Wendigo, it smells like a rotting corpse and like coldness, kind of like a Dementor in Harry Potter, where like it gets real cold and you're like, wait a minute, but it just smells like ass apparently, rotting body.
Hold on a minute. It's really cold here.
It's cold
and it's
it
a
smells
90,
like ass.
90-degree day.
Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so yeah, it brings the coldness like a Dementor. Its hair. Okay, and then a lot of people say that like they have antlers and it's like a deer skull and antlers and stuff like that. Some say it does, and then some say it doesn't. So I guess it just really depends on your, like, a lot of the tribes have this description of them, and some say they do, some say they don't. So it's been said both ways. Excuse me. So some of them, like I said, they say that the creature is, a creature, and it's got the horn sticking out of its head. But then other ones say that it's a human that's been possessed by the spirit, and they're wearing the skin of whatever animal they want to turn into. So if they're like wanting to turn into a wolf or something, they'll like cut up a wolf and like jacket. So I wonder if they wear like the fur because it's cold and like they're cold and it's like an icy heart. I don't know.
I mean, they gotta eat too.
Yeah. Well, hey, I don't know. Who knows? Okay, so all of the legends and everything, most of them are in like Canada and like where it's really cold. And so I haven't, like the further south you get, you don't hear of many Wendigo stories or Skinwalker stories usually. I mean, there is that one Skinwalker Ranch, and I think that's in, I want to say Utah, but I think it's like northern Utah.
Yeah, I watched it on Netflix when it came out. It was actually like really neat.
What was that called?
Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, it's a movie?
Yeah.
Or a documentary?
Yeah, it's a documentary.
Is it still on Netflix?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But they kind of like, they used the word Skinwalker for as in like aliens and all that.
Well, I know like the Skinwalker Ranch, like they had like the creatures, but then they also had alien activity and like there was a lot going on there. But they said that they were like I don't want to say haunted, but like they were haunted by these. That's
on video. That's gonna look hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard that stomping, but we literally are in the basement, so you're gonna hear some things.
I hear Buddy Dog too.
All those little nails clicking on the floor. Oh man. Okay, so yeah, in another legend, in legend, I should say, they're seen as powerful witches or medicine men that turn bad because of greed and they want to inflict harm on others. So yeah, they then become a Wendigo, and it's thought that in order to fully become the Wendigo shapeshifter, you would have to go through a ritual that involves killing someone very close to you. Watch out. And so I mean, like, I don't know. I really couldn't find a whole lot of detail on that, but I assume you just have to like murder your family in cold blood or something like that, which sucks enough. But I'm like, oh, can you imagine if you had to like eat them too? Like,
oh god,
gross. Anyway, there is another legend that said that there is a warrior from one of the tribes that made a deal with the devil, and basically to make it where he could easily defeat his enemies. And the devil agreed and was like, but obviously he's the devil, so he's a little shit. And he turned him into the Wendigo. Sorry. You know what? I'm going to call him Wendigo, whatever suits, and just deal with it. Anyway, so He was just, being the devil himself, and he's just like, I'm gonna give you what you want, but not the way you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was able to easily take down his enemies because he's like a 15-foot tall creature with antlers. Like, holy shit, stop me in my tracks, take me. I don't want to deal with you, no ma'am. Mm-mm. So and I'm just like, but he couldn't return to his tribe because he's a freaking creature. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, it's one of those situations where the little devil himself just doing his thing.
I mean, who's saying it is real? But I mean, like, plus, I certainly believe it is.
The Wendigo?
I believe in a lot of stuff.
Well, I don't have proof that it's not real. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. But I mean, I don't have any proof that it's not real. So it could be. Mm-hmm. I feel like anything can exist. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But
I mean, like, have you ever had an experience with it?
Yeah.
Or any, like,
kind of.
With the Wendigo?
I mean, kind of. So what had happened was, so I had a little puppy, Ledoux. Mm-hmm. Oh. And so we had him in his little kennel at night, but at about 4 o'clock in the morning, obviously it's still dark, he would start whining, and then I'd be like, okay, he's got to go pee, let's go ahead, let me take him out, right? So I take him out, and we have a back porch, like enclosed deck, mm-hmm. or I guess that'd be what you call like a screened-in back porch, that's the word for it. And so we were out in the yard, and it's dark, and we live in the middle of nowhere, so it's like surrounded by woods. And so I'm just sitting here, and it's 4 o'clock in the morning, so I'm obviously tired. And so I just go, some kind of whistle, so that way I can just try to like stay awake, and just like, I did it without thinking. And then within the legend it says, like, if you whistle into the dark and something whistles back, it's the Wendigo, and he is going to come kill you, right? Or Wendigo, he's going to come kill you. And so you're pretty much good as dead. And so I'm like, well, shit. But as soon as I whistled, I was like, no. Like, my brain was like, don't, no. And I don't know if it was me being scared, half in this sleeping stupor at 4 a.m., but I swear I heard a whistle, and I was like, oh my God, I'm dead. I'm already dead. I'm already dead. And it's freezing outside because it's like winter. And I'm like, I'm just, I'm convinced that I'm already dead. So I was just like, I kind of stood there because I'm like, I didn't believe. I was like, that didn't just happen. Like, I didn't hear a whistle.
You just stood there?
Yeah, he was still going pee or whatever he needed to do.
Oh, I picked him up. He's peeing. Let's go.
Well, I think I was waiting for him to take a dump. No. And it just, like, he's taking his sweet old time. But I was sitting there waiting, and I was, like, just staring into the woods, like, trying to figure out, like, did that just happen? And within seconds of the whistle back to me, I hear this god-awful screech. Like, I can't even, like, the closest thing I could, like, think about was, for those of you on YouTube, I'll put the clip in so you can see it. Sorry folks for just listening, but man, it was god awful. Like, I was scared. I think that was the moment I was most scared in my entire life. Excuse me. And so, like, yeah, it was terrifying, and it was just like pitch black. I'm already thinking the Wendigo's done gonna get me. So I hear this god awful screech, and it was like a woman. I don't know. It was nothing like I've ever heard before. And so I, being the big woman I am, shot up those stairs so fast, I'm about to have myself a heart attack because my body hasn't moved that fast in 15 years. So I'm frightened, okay? And so I shoot up the back stairs. Well, my mom's sitting on the back porch. She just got up and was having her coffee.
Was she the one that whistled?
No, she might have whistled. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. But I know she wasn't the one who screamed because it came from behind me. And it sounded like the whistle came from behind me too, but I don't know. But either way, I, running up the stairs, scared the shit out of her because she didn't know I was out there. And so we were both sitting here shitting our pants, you know. And, oh God, I was like, it's the Wendigo! And she's like, what the fuck is a Wendigo? And so it's just, yeah, I never saw anything. Obviously, nothing ever got me. This was last year, so you know, who's to say? But I mean, in my mind, I was like, I'm dead. This is it. This is how it goes. This is what happens. I'm gonna be on one of those docu-series, like, what happened? Was it the Wendigo?
You know, and that's so strange because, like, I've had kind of like this, like, similar kind of like experience. Kinda.
Just stomping on the floor. Oh, what happened? So what happened with you?
So I was taking a friend home, and it was around the beginning of this year, very beginning, when it was still winter here, and or snow, and so I'm taking him home, and he lives like on the back road where there's a whole bunch of deer that run across everything. So I take him home, and I start heading back, and he's like, "Oh, just be careful, because there's a lot of deer." I'm like, "Gotcha." So I'm starting to head back, and I get this like gut feeling.
You're like, something's
I'm
bad.
like, something about to
Let's
happen.
slow down.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, so I slow down to about 30, and because you go 50 on this road, so I slowed down to about 30, and under 30 seconds, I round this corner, and there is this humongous, like, this bitch had to be about 500 pounds, maybe.
Oh my God, what was it?
A deer.
Oh, it was like a bubble deer,
right?
like
it was
turning
big,
point buck, if you
like,
would.
yeah, close to it. And I'm just like, excuse me, I don't know what that was.
Bella girl.
I was just like, whoa, okay. So I'm like, I honked my horn at it, and it didn't move.
Oh,
and I'm
that's
like,
terrifying. It's like coming to
and
get
that
you.
was the first thing that went through my head. It was the Wendigo. I was like,
Steer's going to transform at any minute.
I'm like, what am I gonna do here?
Oh God.
And so I'm just sitting here in my car, and there's just a huge buck just kind of like idled in the middle of the road.
And he's just like staring you down, I'm sure.
No, he's just looking straight. And I honk my horn, he doesn't move. I honk it again, he doesn't move. I drive forward like 2 inches, and his head just right at me. And I'm like, let's get out of here.
Right. Holy crap.
And then it was just like, it started to like rear up kind of thing.
Like,
and all that.
Don't come at me, Bertha.
No, it was just kind of like.
Like trying to stand up?
Yeah, and all that. I'm like, this kind of thing. And so I speed around it. I'm like, if I hit it, I hit it.
Right.
You
it
know,
is what it is. But
I speed around it, and the weird thing was, I went past it. I didn't smell anything, but it was like really, really cold that night. But I didn't smell anything. But I did, like, yeah, hopefully not. But I went past it, and I heard like this, what you kind of experience.
Like the scream, the screech. God, isn't that
terrifying? And I'm like, and it felt like it was behind me, and it happened like 2 or 3 times, and every time it got closer, I was going 120 miles on this back road that's like wavy.
I'm glad you didn't hit a different deer.
I'm
Like, shit.
So glad, because if I did, I would be dead. Like, I know it.
You're like, get me out.
I'm not gonna lie.
How long ago was that?
I pooped my pants a little. It was beginning of this year.
Oh, was it? Oh man,
Yeah.
is it? But that's just like terrifying, and especially like if it's not moving, and then it starts to like slowly look at you. Like, this isn't, my life is not a horror movie. Cut scene. Like,
Yeah,
stop
no.
this. Well, they also, just a little tidbit, they say that if you flash your head, like if your deer, you know, it's like stuck in the headlights, if you flash your headlights, it kind of gets them out of that daze, like, oh shit, something's happening.
Oh yeah.
So, doesn't relevate to the story, but
No, but
just
this
a
thing
little
was just
tidbit.
like looking straight. Like, here's the
Oh my
road,
gosh.
and just like going this way. It was like kind of, it made up almost the entire road too. Like,
God,
I'm like,
that thing's
I don't
sick.
know.
I would like to see.
I need to tell Will to come out
Yeah.
here.
Man, can you imagine having that monster mounted on your?
Oh my god.
And you weren't high, right?
No, I was not high, because he's his dad's a cop. So.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's terrifying. Man, I can't even imagine.
I did
And
check
especially
if
if I
was
would have
high,
saw a deer or saw something moving, I probably would have had a heart attack. I'm not in great shape. I'm not in health with my life. You know what I mean? Probably would have dropped dead of a heart
That's
attack.
the hardest my heart has beaten in a long time.
Oh man, I can freaking imagine. So the other thing was like, so what do you do when a Wendigo is like, okay, so it's happened. He's here. What are we doing? You know? So legend says that if you ever are face to face with a Wendigo and you look it in the eyes, it can take over your body like it's a spirit. It can possess you, and then you turn into like a cannibal and you start eating people. But the only way to save your life and to kill it, I guess, is excuse me. We just had breakfast pizza, and it is coming back. Anyway, I guess you didn't need to know that. Anyhow, so you have to look it in the eyes and say its name. Now, if it is someone who's possessed and it's looking like this dead creature, how the hell am I going to know it's Frank from down the street? You know what I mean?
Frank.
Billy, Bobby, Brown, John, Frank,
Jason.
Yeah. Jason.
Jerusalem.
Jason,
I don't know.
Jason, Jerusalem, Bethlehem. But anyway, yeah, like how the hell are you supposed to know? Like unless you like saw it shapeshift. Well, and that's the other thing. Like this is in like Native culture. It's from what I read, it's taboo to talk about because they say skinwalkers are just people that are basically possessed by the spirit. But it's easy. You're not supposed to talk about it because then you're gonna figure out who the Wendigo is or whatever. And yeah, it's just I don't know. And so it's like there's not a lot of information because it's taboo to talk about. And so I don't know.
Well, and that's all we have, folks.
Right? No.
No.
We got a little bit more, but yeah. I mean, it was so hard to find information because like. I guess a lot of it really wasn't passed down because it was so taboo.
I was having a lot of problems finding information about it.
But,
unlike our last episode, all that stuff was up in the air.
Right, yeah.
Anybody could grab it.
But, yeah, so, I mean, it is what it is, so bear with us as we go through this. There's another legend also that it was about these two men. They were traveling to a new land, and then they came across this dude in the woods, and he's just... Some say he's a giant, some say he's like a regular dude. So they make camp with this guy, and the Wendigo is in the woods like, hey, he's gonna eat you. You know, come over here, I'll save you. He eats people, blah. You know, being a little shit that they are. And so the guy, the main camper dude, he was just like, I'm not having any of this bullshit. So he sets his dog loose. The dog chases the Wendigo down, and I don't know if he kills it or just runs it off. But then the camper guy was like, hey, that's an evil spirit. Watch out. And so whenever the two men decided to leave the camp to finish their travels or whatever, the guy let them have the dog, and instead to protect them the whole way. So that's number one, why we have dogs, and number two, that's another way to get rid of the little creepy bastard. So the Wendigo, because I guess dogs are like, get out of here, yo. Dogs are so great. I just love dogs. They're my favorite. It's like some people are cat people, some people are dog people. I don't not like cats, but I'm a dog person.
Dogs are a godsend.
Right? They're just fantastic. I mean, my dog's kind of dumb. He's cute, but he's kind of dumb. I just love him. But I feel like he'd protect me.
Yeah.
I hope. Well, yeah, no, for sure. Because, like, the horse was running after... so we were moving cows the other day, and the horse came after me, and the dogs were like, bark, 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 and, like, chased him back the other way. So I feel like that's protection.
Yeah.
I mean, I was no match for the horse. Anyway, moving on. So that was, that's another story there. So you can say their name to their face, but like, how are you going to have their name? How are you going to know that? And so the other way was, for the dogs, and they would just chase them off. So, keep a dog by you at all times. So they're also known to run extremely fast. And when I read that, I was just like Edward Cullen, like Twilight, like running through the woods, yeah, just like, oh man, you think you're gonna outrun me? As if you could. Oh my god. So, they run really fast, and they've got a lot of stamina. So one thing said that they can run up to 200 miles per hour, or 200 miles in a night, or something like that. Not per hour, but like in a night. They are known to travel that far. First of all, if this isn't a exact thing that you can study, how do you know how fast it can go? How do you know it traveled? Like, how do you know?
Bunch of scientists sitting in the woods. All right, and go.
Johnny, yeah.
You know,
Johnny, what was it? It was 200 miles. But like, I'm just like that. Like, where are you guys pulling this out of? Like, you don't know. You don't know. Because if you so say you were 200 miles that way and you saw a Wendigo, and then you called me and I was like, I just saw that Wendigo. It was the same thing. Like, if they all look alike, it probably wasn't. Playing devil's advocate here. Like, obviously, that's probably not going to be the same Wendigo. 1, 2. How were you alive to tell the tale, son? How?
Exactly. No, if we experience it, we both are. Now the government's coming to get us.
Right. Yeah, it's a secret government project they let loose in the 50s. No big deal. Okay, so that was the other thing. Yeah, caution. If you whistle in the dark and you hear a whistle back, that's the call for the creature, and you're basically dead. I made that note right there. It's like, note that down. The other thing. So Swift Runner, he was from a Native American tribe, and I guess he took his wife and kids into the woods, and they were in this like secluded cabin for the winter. And he was a member of the Cree Indian tribe, is what I read. If that's not correct, please correct me in the comments. But yeah, he took his family into the woods in a cabin, and then eventually he murdered and ate his entire family. Well, there was one son, they said, that died, and then they ended up eating him, and then he was like, that tastes like bacon. And so he took the rest of them. And so they said he even had a baby. Like, oh, man, what kind of monster. But, so he came back into town, obviously by himself, once the winter passed, and everybody's like, yo, where's the rest of them? And he's like, I don't know what he said, but he was just like, I don't know,
She divorced me and took the kids.
Right. Well, this is like way back in, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I think it was his wife's mother and father were like, I don't buy the bullshit. Where's my baby? And so they ended up going back to the cabin, and then they saw all the bones and all the bodies and all the things. And you could tell that the skeletons were cleaned of meat.
Oh, wow.
So he was like, getting the marrow sucked out or whatever.
Sorry.
So gross. Anyway, so, it's called... now they have an actual name for it. It's the Wendigo psychosis, which basically makes you mad and makes you eat people.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, that's what I was like, Jeffrey Dahmer, Army Hammer, anybody? Like, do you guys have Wendigo psychosis? Is that what this is? Because you heard about Army Hammer, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so he's like this actor or whatever, and I want to say he was in, what's that movie? He's the cowboy, the Lone Ranger with Johnny Depp. I think, don't quote me on that, I'm going to have to fact check that. But either way, so he's an actor, right? And I guess he got caught on some websites that are like for cannibals. And he was just like, that's some sexual fantasy of his. I don't get it. I think that's very disturbing. Yeah.
Okay.
But,
I didn't know. Actually, what's his name?
Army Hammer. I think it's
look him up.
Arnee or something like that. But yeah, Army Hammer. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'll put a picture and some information up there. But yeah, he's getting slammed because he's like into cannibalism. I don't know that he actively participates in cannibalism, but that's something that turns him on. And I'm not trying to kink shame anybody, but
that guy.
That just
that's weird.
Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to kink shame anybody. Like, if you're into some weird shit, like, be into it, whatever. But that, like, I feel like there's some things like that draw the line. You can't eat people. You can't be a pedophile. Like, there's things like you just can't do stuff like that. That's just wrong. That goes the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. No. It's
just fucking weird.
It is weird.
And we're pretty weird. Like, so if we're saying something's weird, it's pretty fucking weird.
I mean, I've heard that, like, eating human is just kind of like eating pork.
Yeah, well,
kind of thing.
we're real fatty.
And it's just like,
But even Jeffrey Dahmer said, like, he wouldn't eat people with tattoos because it made the meat taste bad.
Oh, I need to get more tattoos.
And that's exactly what I was like, I really want a sleeve now.
some dude coming up and bite me, and I'm sitting over there like, come on, take it,
Chicken
take it,
wing,
take it.
chicken wing. Yeah, exactly. Like,
He's like, I don't want to bite your arm.
the other thing, so Skinwalker Ranch, going back to that. So it is a cattle ranch. I have this in my notes. It's a cattle ranch located
Yes.
in northern Utah, and it's said to be cursed. It's 512 acres. Like, man, we have like 21. Like, can you imagine 512? Shit, you can do a lot of things.
Oh yeah, I'd build a bunker.
What?
I would build a bunker.
Oh, you build a bunker.
What do you think I said?
Don't want to repeat that on the air. What I thought you said. I was like, what did you say?
Yeah, I'd build a bunker.
Oh God, wouldn't that
That'd
be
be awesome.
great? That would be like the perfect survival situation. Like build a cabin up on the front property where people like, so that way when the world ends or whatever, people are like running around, they'll be like, oh, this is a house, and then you're in the bunker and they don't even think to look back, like way back, like
Deuces.
anyway. So the 512 acres, and when the family bought the property, I think it said it was in the 90s. They saw UFOs. Not crop circles because they didn't have like crops, but like weird like crop circles, but it was in the grass and stuff like that. And so, but yeah, they saw these weird things, and then something kept eating and mutilating their cattle. Like if it's just a wolf, like it would just eat the cattle, like kill and eat. Like that's what it does. But they were mutilated.
Calves or cattle?
Oh, I just read cattle. I don't know.
Okay, because the calves, that's what usually wolves are like coyotes. Coyotes mainly go after the calves, the youngs.
Oh.
And the cattle, that's usually wolves.
Yeah.
And it's just like...
Either way, but I mean the mutilation part was what?
They would hear it though.
512 acres? I don't know they would.
Oh, well, never mind, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that they would hear that.
How far is 512 acres? Like, how many miles?
Big. Well, our property, all our woods and everything, we just have 21.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's pretty far.
So I mean, it's substantially bigger.
Mm.
Well, you know how much space DIA has, the Denver airport.
Yeah.
They have more acreage than the DIA.
Wow.
Yeah. So lots of space, lots of space.
Shifty.
For the aliens to frolic. And yeah, so anyway, but yeah, no, they claimed also that they saw a wolf 3 times the size of a normal wolf, and the husband shot it multiple times, and it was like not affected. Like, can you imagine?
I remember listening to that on there, like on Netflix. Yeah.
And you just like you see this giant wolf, and you're thinking, take it out. Like, I got a gun, take it out, and we're problem solved, right? But then when you unload on this thing, like it's still trying to come after you, and you're just like, I'm in danger, And so, like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine how terrifying that would have been.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, I mean, that would...
It has to be a dire wolf.
I don't know the difference between a regular and a dire.
So, okay, let's just talk about Twilight real quick.
Okay.
You know Jacob, how big he was compared to Bella?
Right.
He's a dire wolf.
Oh.
Yeah. They really made those wolves smaller than...
So where are dire wolves from?
I don't know.
Where?
Oh, I think it's just where it's just like, of course, like, animals were bigger.
Oh, it says the dire wolf lived in Americas and Eastern Asia during the late Pleistocene. About 125,000 to 9,500 years ago. So just a couple days, no big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're supposedly not alive anymore. But the fact that these huge things exist, it makes me think like maybe they hid out and we thought they got... I mean, there's a lot of species though that we thought had gone extinct, and then we figured out recently like, hey, there's one running around, like they're obviously not completely gone. But
Megalodon.
What?
Megalodon,
yeah. Oh man, that's another one we should do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, probably be a short episode just because like we don't know a whole lot about it. It's a big fucking shark. Is what it is. Biggin. Okay, anyway, so he tried to kill the wolf, and like the wolf was like not affected. He's just like running on. I'm like, I'd poop in my pants. Not gonna lie, I'd lay an egg. Okay, so the family ended up selling the property. Obviously because of the claims that they were making, they couldn't sell it to like a regular person. But they ended up selling it to like a research team, and I think that's when the document, because I know they said they made a documentary. I didn't know it was on Netflix, but they made a documentary, and basically they wanted to figure out what was terrorizing them, what was really going on. So when the team showed up to investigate, they saw a human-like creature that was just watching them. They said it had glowing yellow eyes, and they also saw skinwalkers, that kind of thing. And it's just, I don't know, that just seems terrifying. Like, so what they were doing, they, here, let me look, skinwalker, let me find this image that I was, like, first of all, creepy.
Yeah.
But they said that they were in the woods, they were looking for something, and they were just kind of taking a look, just doing their thing. And they heard, I guess it was a branch that broke, and so they were like turned and like looked, like what was that? And then they looked up, and then this humanoid creature like stood
right
up.
there,
Yeah, so that's what it. Most of the people say it looked like, and like I said, if you're on YouTube, we're gonna show the images up here. Where'd the other one go? I think it was Skinwalker on Trail Cam. So if you're Googling this, you can find that right there.
Oh, yeah.
Terrifying. But anyway, some of these trail cams, it's just like, it's creepy. That's definitely an ape. Like King Kong done escaped his, like, either way, nonetheless, it's still terrifying. And some of these things, what the fuck?
Yeah, you never seen that?
No.
Oh, it's crazy.
That's like a goat dude.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. Okay, I'm tired of. I'm gonna get away.
I remember watching or looking at trail cams with Will, and then I'm sitting there the entire time like, oh, I want to see something scary.
Something's gonna come out.
And my heart was just racing the entire time. And then
It gives you a little bit of anxiety. I mean,
yeah,
like,
because you just click it, and it just shoots through another picture. It gives you no warning.
Right, you can't look at a tiny little thumbnail like, what's going on here? Oh man, I can't even imagine. But yeah, so basically, I mean, that's what I have for them, and they're terrifying creatures. Nobody really knows anything about them. It's supposedly taboo to talk about, so hopefully we're not inviting it in when we talk about it.
Well, this is my house. So
If you never hear another podcast from us again,
you know what happened.
Yep.
Call the governor.
Wendigo. That Wendigo done got me. Yeah.
You know, I think we should do one on Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever.
Oh yeah, we definitely got to do that. I mean, obviously that's a given.
Because I do have a story with that.
Ooh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
And people are like, oh, it's, you're Missouri, Raga, and all that. I'm like, nah, dog. This is for real. And this is way before I started doing
drugs. Have you seen my ex-husband? He's a huge guy. He's huge. Like, throw some fur on that man. Like, it's not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched.
Yeah.
Like, he's a giant human. Hashtag shout out Ryan. But anyway, so, yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those situations where, like, it's weird. I hope it's not real, but I don't know that it's not real.
Yeah.
But luckily, I feel like we're in Missouri, and so these mostly have been sighted up in Canada and like other colder regions. So, I think we're too southern for that. I hope.
No, I don't know, because we split right in the middle.
Yeah.
And we're up north.
We're the northern half.
Yeah.
But still, maybe. No, I'm just so that way I can sleep at night. I'm gonna say we're too southern.
Yeah. Yeah.
It helps me sleep. Anyway, yeah. So, do you have anything to add?
No, not really.
Isn't it wild?
I mean, it was hard to find stuff on it though.
It really was. Yeah. I feel like we didn't have enough material because it was just like it was really hard.
Well, how long have we been going?
Let me see. 39 minutes. So it's 40 minutes. So it's not that much longer. I think the last episode was like 45. So
we did a lot of BS in too.
We did.
On the other one.
Oh, on the other one?
Yeah.
But I mean, we did.
Well, in this one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
Bada bing, bada
It's
boom.
it's scary.
Yeah. I personally would be totally okay if I never came face to face with anything like that. Like, even just a human that's like dressed up like that. Like, that's cool. You remember when clowns were a thing?
Yes.
That terrified me. And what happened? They literally just like were clowning one day and then like no more clowns. I don't know what happened. I'm glad they're gone, but I was so terrified to just even be at home alone because I just assumed one was going to show up at my house and then I wasn't going to be able to, like, I was literally, I didn't know. I had such anxiety. I couldn't stay at home by myself because I was just terrified that this clown was going to pop up in my front yard and it was going to kill me.
Yeah, you talking about like the killer clowns kind of thing.
Yeah, where they would just like stand there and like they had like knives or whatever.
Can I do a little side road real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I remember in school, I think it was my senior year, or I think it was my senior year, and I had Old Betsy, my 89 GMC.
Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. GMC.
So,
Betsy.
and it's I carried an axe in the back because wood chopping, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah.
Do you do a lot of wood chopping?
I used to. But, I need to again. That's, yeah. But, so yeah, it's like, they were talking about, like, oh, this is what's gonna happen in Sturgeon, kind of thing. And it was, like, on, like, a Facebook site, or this, that, and the other. And
well, if it's Facebook, it's gotta be true.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, our teachers and all that stuff, when like we were going out to our cars, they were like standing out there and like the baseball coach had a baseball bat, this, that, and the other, and I was just like, what y'all doing? Ain't nobody gonna show up. And then Miss Schaefer's like, oh, there's a clown right there. And I'm like, yeah, you got it. I'm like, y'all
was
need.
Was she pointing at you?
Yeah, kind of thing, just joking around. It's like, I was like, y'all need protection. She's like, what are you going to protect us with? My truck was right there. I took an axe out, and I'm like, you're not supposed to have that in school property. I was like, I keep it for this instance.
Right. But, like, back in the 80s, like, because we're from, like, small town, right? And back in the 80s, like, our parents would show up. They'd have literally, they'd pull up in their trucks. They'd have guns in their
Will would as well.
Yeah, no, I think Will...
He never did?
No, I think it was at that point in time. I mean, he would
usually
take it to
I know it was after
and...
1999.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
92 was when, what's that school in Colorado? Oh, it's the...
Columbine?
Columbine, yeah, I couldn't think of it.
I thought it was 99.
92. I think. Oh, well, now I'm gonna look.
Oh, yeah.
When did Columbine... Columbine shooting took place on April 20th, 1999. Okay,
yeah. Because it was the day before my birthday.
I thought, because you're the 21st.
Yeah, because
Were you born in 99?
No, I was born in 98.
Oh, so you're getting ready
so
to turn
I was
happy birthday.
Yeah. That's not funny.
That's pretty fucked up. That's so fucked up. Anyway.
I was going to be 1 year old.
Oh, man. Yeah, for some reason I thought it was 1992. Why did I think it was 92? Because I thought it was when I was a baby. There was a flood of 93. We should cover that for a history podcast.
Today in history.
Yeah. Speaking of history, so we, Moberly, Missouri, they have a historical museum, and we went there, and we were looking, and we were just like looking around. Like it's kind of weird because it's like the bottom is kind of set up like a history museum, but then you can take a tour of like the upstairs. The upstairs used to be a brothel.
Oh.
And at one point, the downstairs used to also be Planned Parenthood. Not one that did abortions. It was like strictly contraceptive. But I was like, brothel upstairs, Planned Parenthood downstairs. Y'all had a business plan.
That's like the Taco Bell and KFC mix.
It was,
mixed buildings.
Right. I mean, it was, they knew what they were doing. They knew a thing or two. But anyhow, so, what was I saying? Anyway, we got a lot of history on that. So that was something else I thought it was really neat we could cover if we'd ever do a history podcast.
So we should vlog.
I'm going in there.
Yeah,
I don't know if they
do a
would.
vlog. I don't know if they would let us with cameras and all that, but I'm sure they would.
Maybe. Well, they did say that they did like a TAPS type ghost hunters thing, like a paranormal. I don't want to say a ghost hunt, but I don't know that there's another word for it. But they did like a whole ghost like stakeout. They try to like communicate and like see if there was
Who
any
did?
ghosts there. The Randolph County Historical Society. They let ghost hunters come in. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
And so we took the tour and everything, and I'm like, this is weird. Like, I'm not getting real weird vibes, but I'm getting weird vibes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
It's old stuff.
yeah, it's old, and I'm just like, it's just weird because I don't know. But anyway, so I'm like not too freaked out. We're taking the tour. We go downstairs, and she's like, "Oh, you want something that's really weird vibes?" And I'm like, "Sure." Looking, you know, she opens the basement latch, and it's just like this huge door, and it's super heavy. She like opens the door, and I just peek through, and I'm like, "That's the gate to hell." Like, no, I'm okay. Thank you. Please shut that. I was like, "Nope." Turn around, and me and Rye shot forward. Where it's like, "Fuck that." Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah, no.
I didn't even. I was just like, "Nope." And the lady's like, "You don't want to go down there?" And hell no, I don't. No, ma'am, shut that damn thing. You're gonna let the devil out. No, ma'am.
I'll jump down there.
I'm gonna stage myself before I leave. And then they were like, "Do you want to be a volunteer?"
Volunteer for what? Jumping down there?
No. Volunteer to like, cause they work as volunteers. Like it's not a paid position.
Oh.
Yeah. And so like to volunteer so that when people come in, you're just there so you can let them in and nobody's stealing stuff. You know,
I see.
obviously. But yeah, I'm just like, no, I will.
Danger.
I'm in danger. I will donate to the cause, but I'm not going to volunteer here. I would no, I'm not. I don't want to volunteer in a place where I'm like creeped out. You know what I mean? And it's not super scary or anything like that. But when they opened the gate to hell there, I was just like, I am
No,
out.
thank you.
O-U-T. But anyway, that's all I have for today. So before we start talking about other stuff, because this could go on and on forever.
this railroad.
Oh man, it's. Have you seen that meme where it's like highway and then like off ramp and he's just like. Like that's how our conversations go. So
Ending of podcast.
other stuff.
bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Bingo. But yeah, no. So I mean, it's like this podcast brought to you by ADHD. Lovely sponsor. Anyway, anything else you had to say, sir?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, hey, keep it classy, and we'll see you again in our mom's basement. Bye. Oh, I gotta stop this.